and then let's see what happens on that show. David Chase, I dare you to write that episode.
Rosie O'Donnell is proof that you can't keep a good woman down. As we all know, she developed a horrible infection in her hand that sent her to the hospital for a week and off her show for 3 weeks. And while she was recuperating, Joy and Meredith and I were very happy to sit in her chair. But we are much happier now that she's all better and back where she belongs on her own show. And with us, please welcome our pal, Rosie O'Donnell.
Thank you very much. You can have them. Thank you, everyone, first of all, for filling in. These are the people we called first. I didn't call. The show did. I was a little unconscious. And everyone said yes right away, and I'm really, really grateful. I thank you all very much.
Thank you.
These two were about to pitch in when I came back, so I thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
The bandage off your hand.
Yes, this is called something like Cobain. I mix it up with Kurt Cobain, it's Coban or something. But the stitches were taken out, and I still have to keep it covered because there are still open parts of it.
Don't show people. You know how you are when you're a little kid, you want to show your boo-boo?
Yeah.
Don't show me.
No, I won't. So some people thought because at the launch party for my magazine, I was showing the stitches. I had had the surgery Thursday before. Monday was the launch party. And that's not how the infection happened. The infection happened during the operation where it got inside of of my wound. And there's no way you can totally sterilize an operating room because there's staff everywhere. But if it gets really into a deep wound, it's a problem.
And what's that pouch that you're carrying around with you?
This is an IV pump. I have a little PICC line in my upper arm, and this is antibiotics that I'll have a 6-week run of antibiotics to make sure that it's totally out of my system.
Rosie, when we were talking, you said, I mean, you were delirious, you were very close to death. They also came to you and said, we might have to amputate your hand.
Yeah.
Now, you had said to me, well, you know, I had 4 children, and I would have done anything not to have that happen.
Right. Well, the doctor came in, they did one surgery. I was admitted in the morning on Tuesday, and they did a surgery Thursday night, couldn't stop it. Friday night, they did it again. And so Friday night at midnight, they said if in the morning it's not better, we'll have to take it off wherever the infection was. But I was, you know, so out of it. And at this point, I thought, you know, if you're very famous and they can't stop your pain, you're in trouble.
Imagine everybody else.
Because I thought, you know, I'm on a TV show. They don't want it to be in the newspaper. Rosie O'Donnell, you know, in terrible pain at this. I thought I was in pretty bad shape. So I was my mother died at 39. I had just turned 39. So in my mind, I was a little bit, you know, creating my own service. But I said, I don't care what you have to do. Just, I have 4 kids. I don't want to die. So do whatever you have to. And thank God the doctor opened it in the morning, very early Saturday morning. And I just watched his eyes because I was sort of out of it. And he started to cry. And I knew that it was okay. Because as soon as he opened it, I saw relief on his face and tears start to fall down his eyes. And I thought, he got it. And then I fell back asleep.
Well, he was very sensitive. Either that or a lawsuit was not looming.
No, you know,
to any doctor's eyes.
He is a great doctor. He really is. And it's not by any means his fault or the hospital's fault. You know, if there are nurses here, you know, there are post-operative staph infections. It happens because there's no way you can clear the staph from the air.
Yeah.
You know, there's no way.
That's scary.
Yeah, it was very scary.
So you were truly very close to dying then? It wasn't
no, I think you can die from a staph infection, but because it wasn't an extremity, I was very lucky. They could have removed the extremity. And, you know, there are people who get it after a baby's born, after a C-section, very dangerous. Yeah. People who get it when a wound is a different kind of operation, also very dangerous. I was lucky that it was isolated to here, but they were very afraid they couldn't stop the infection. You know, he said he had never had to drain it twice. So he was very scared. After the first one, he was in shock. He said that he had to do it again.
I want to ask you about something else that occurred. First of all, you thanked us for substituting for you. I want to thank you for just being so wonderful in the special we had Friday night. And it did, we loved it, but it also did very well, thanks to you.
Well, it's such an important thing. I was happy to be part of it.
We talked a good deal about adoption, but we also talked about your foster child. And you brought up then that it was very difficult and that she was a very troubled child. And then we read in the papers that she had to go. You had to give her back for a period.
Well, she's in Florida now, where I live, where she is one of the award of the state of Florida. Her parents still have parental rights. I knew that when I took her. So she's just back for an evaluation period.
But foster children have very, particular problems, and you did bring that out.
Right, and I am someone who always thinks that everything is conquerable. Like if you say, oh, you're doing your own show, you want to do the 2 months in Seussical? Sure. Why not? You want to open a magazine? Okay. I think everything's easy. You know, 4 kids? No problem. Bring it in. Like, I never sit and think logically. I just go, you know. So she is a very loving, beautiful, amazing child. She is one of my 4 children, and she will remain that. I'm hopeful, and I'm very hopeful that she'll be able to come back into my family. But she needed to go for evaluation. They have full-time therapists there that she can live in a place where she can get the kind of intensive therapy that she needed.
Because foster children, not all of them, but many of them come with serious problems, and people should know that.
Yes, very serious. And I think that you have to go in with an open mind. I don't know that it was the best thing to do with 3 children under the age of 5 to bring in a 3-year-old. If my children had been older, it probably would have been a wiser decision. But, you know, again, I'm not the most logical. I just sort of go, sure, bring her over. Let's try it, you know. But I'm fairly certain she'll be back. And if she cannot come back for whatever reason, I will continue to be involved in her life and in wherever she is placed. And
you're going to get more children?
No, in this baby.
But are you planning to get more after that?
You know me, Joy. I probably will. I don't know. Well, Billy Crystal said to me yesterday, he goes, you take the kids Mia Farrow doesn't take.
Well, that's all right. That makes them, they have a family, which is a good thing. Now, speaking of family, you're our television family heroes, and everyone knows that you've said that you're calling it quits at the end of next season. You've been away for 3 weeks, just came back to your show. Did you miss it at all?
You know, I did miss it, but that was really a life-altering experience. You know, before this happened with my hand, and I know in the scheme of what can happen, there are so many people who are going through much worse. So I'm not trying to, you know, make it out like I conquered this huge mountain. But before that surgery, I thought everything was before or after March 17th, 1973, the day my mother died, or before or after May 25th, 1995, the day my first child was born. Now, since this, everything is before or after the hand. Because I really felt like, wow, I was close to not being around. And I took the job so I could be a full-time parent, so I could be a hands-on parent, and I now have 4 small children. And I would leave the job for the same reason I took the job, because the kids are the priority, and it's been a great run, and I've loved it, but I think it's done. We're going to do it. Yeah. Well, you know, it's hard.
You will still have your hands full because now you have your new magazine, Rosie magazine, which we should congratulate.
I still have my hands, exactly.
But what makes your magazine different from other celebrity magazines like Oprah's and Martha Stewart's and so on?
Well, we try to present a realistic view of the world and a celebration of humanity. We try not to have, you know, no airbrushing. Like the cover, the first cover, I said, well, I want to do Fran Drescher. She survived uterine cancer, and I want to just go to her house with no makeup and just hug her on her porch. And they're like, what? And you want to put cancer on the cover? And you want? I'm like, yes, because it's very informative, and what happened to her, I think, would help women. So we're more of a realistic magazine. I think we're more humor-based.
You're funny. It's a funny magazine.
Well, we try to be funny. Yeah. You know, they didn't appreciate the comedy at the beginning. You know, I said I had this thing I wanted to put in a fake quiz. You know, when your best friend asks you to join Overeaters Anonymous, you A, join the witness protection program, you know, C, try to have her killed, or D, tell her you have a heroin habit you're trying to kick, first things first, you know? And they said, well, you can't write that. I'm like, oh, that's funny.
You're the boss. It's Rosie's magazine. Hello.
Say that again, Joy.
It's Rosie's magazine.
And the second issue is on the stands.
Yeah.
You know, our 2 shows are different shows, but we almost feel sometimes that we're one. You have always been so supportive of us, and we love to have you on, and we just hope that the next time we see you, there's no bandage, no intravenous.
I'll be fine, really. I will. And all the people who are therapy with who are really challenged every day, this one woman trying to lift her baby, keep going, because for me, it's just a finger, and I'm going to be all right.
Wonderful.
Good for
Thank you,
you.
Rosie.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for coming on with us. We appreciate it. Anytime you're with us, we'll be right back.